Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and my portfolio for healing isn't very large, but I have been experiencing it over the years more and more, and noticing that it is a unique archetype that isn't found in other genres of game, and that's the moral of the story here. The rant video can just end if you want it. Too long didn't watch. Basically, healing is sort of unique a little bit to MMOs. You don't get it in other genres, unless it's like some gimmicky, I don't know, mobile healer simulator sort of game. I know those exist, but for the most part, yeah. If you want to play a healer in a Holy Trinity system and be a support inside of a community-based game, especially massively multiplayer one, yeah, that experience, that is just MMORPG, and really only a handful of those. So that's pretty much why I am more and more jumping into the healer position, and I think a lot of you guys should too, but I can rant and ramble a little bit more on that. But I do want to ask you guys, for those who have done endgame healing and you guys are just dedicated healers in games such as Overwatch, supports inside of like games like League of Legends, or obviously healers inside of like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, especially at the moment, and you do the endgame raiding, why is it fun for you, and what specific mechanics actually really can further entice players? Just help me convince them. But anyways, my portfolio of healing is all over the place. Definitely started a little bit, and I'm gonna kind of say healing and support, mixing and matching those two. It basically kind of started in League of Legends, where I realized that the support is actually the most aggressive. Like, that's what you do. If you want to do the role that is the most aggressive, that has the most action instantaneously at minute 0, yeah, that's actually the support. So I started playing these really aggressive, characters with hooks and chains and stuff like that, but they do have support abilities with shields, with intercepts, with a lot of CC, and that really enticed me, and got me into the healer, Soraka, and just being overall a supportive character, and realizing that support doesn't just mean, I don't know, just fairy dust, or cringy, effeminate things, which that was a big problem with me. I was incredibly biased and frankly sexist back when I started League of Legends. And when I played any MMO, I always made a character that looked exactly like me. I played exactly like how I acted in real life, and I never really explored any sort of roles. And I guess I really wasn't playing the game to the fullest to that extent. Like, I played a paladin, but dude, I'm just ret paladin. I don't know about you, but now I started actually healing a little bit in World of Warcraft because I could, and I wanted to do dungeons, and the queue times were really quick. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna heal a little bit. Then actually I started jumping into Albion Online, where they had a shield a shield support with arcane staff. That blew my freaking mind. Then now, especially in Elder Scrolls Online, I'm playing a Nightblade healer, Fire Forget. It's actually a lot of fun, where I can do a lot of DPS in the downtime of keeping up the buffs and the dots and stuff. But now, I am currently leveling a Lalafell. Hopefully, potentially, I will become a Sage later on, but just, Conjurer at the moment. I'm just a little baby potato sprout, and I'm leveling a healer in this game, and I can't wait to join the community with that respect. Doing the dungeons and doing the end game is literally why I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. It's well established, it's lauded, I can't wait to applaud it myself when I get there. But healing is also something that is not the most popular role in any game. Sometimes there might be a role that's a little bit less popular, such as tanking, just because of the way MMOs are designed, and I would love to do a video on tanking, because that is something that I would say is my main, actually, in MMOs and in games in general. But for healing and switching to healing, I'm having so much fun, because there are technically other games that do have mechanics and a game feel that is similar to tanking, even though it's a not as popular role, and I do want to promote it and create propaganda for that as well. Frankly, you play Dark Souls, it feels a lot like Terra tanking, or to in some extent Guild Wars 2 if you play sort of like a soft tank, I guess, or whatever. Some games have soft trinities, soft buffers, and soft supports, whatever. But really, hard Holy Trinities and hard supports is something that's kind of special to RPGs, and generally you yourself, you either control a full party of characters, or it's an MMO, where you play just as the healer, and you have these huge, this huge tool set to heal and be supportive, and you play a very unique playstyle that literally isn't, it just isn't in other games. Like, you're not gonna go into Monster Hunter and be a healer. That just doesn't happen. You're not going to go into Dark Souls and okay. Dark Souls is a little weird. You could do it, but anyways. So, for the most part, you're not gonna have that. Where, just as a direct example, let's keep using Final Fantasy XIV. If I were to level a Dragoon, which I did begin doing, I got to level 18 or something as a Lancer, you know what? it just has nothing on if I were to go and play Monster Hunter, where I play my main, which is an Insect Glaive. If I use Insect Glaive, that is the true Dragoon class, the best Dragoon class, in my opinion. Did a whole video on that, actually. So, already ranted about that, but basically, there are other experiences. Like, okay, if I wanted to play the Archer archetype in MMOs, which I actually think is the archetype they do the worst, all the time, always. And, no, you know what? Instead of playing it in an MMO, I would rather go play Horizon Zero Dawn. Or maybe I can go play Monster Hunter again, because they actually got a really good bow stuff going on there too. But Horizon Zero Dawn, especially because you have to actually aim. Not only that, but the aiming and where you aim and the parts you break off of the monsters really freaking matters. It's immersive, it's action-packed, and the whole feel is entirely different and I think more truer to that class design. So there's lots of classes in MMOs, and some of them I think are more unique than others in different games, sure, but the general archetypes go basically like tank is pretty unique, pretty special, pretty cool, especially because you are defending your teammates. Oftentimes you do have to corral monsters and move them. There is strategy and stuff like that. But DPS classes, aside from some unique rotations with certain classes, or if they do have supportive abilities, generally, I really think that you should just go play some Metroidvania, go play an action RPG, go play another game that doesn't have to sacrifice any of its fidelity or any of its mechanical impact for being an MMO. But you know, the one class, the one archetype that really shines because it's an MMO, that's healer. And even though I'm still very new to this archetype, I'm trying my best to love it and learn it, you know what? It's actually not that hard to love it. Maybe it's a little challenging to learn it. Actually, it's a little bit more challenging than I think people give it credit for. I think support in general is just like, you know, my girlfriend who doesn't play games, you can play the support, you know, whatever. I think that's not always true, though, actually. I think actually healing can be very challenging, and it's actually really stressful. Holy crap, nobody told me that. I thought it would be easy mode. That's why I even kind of begun doing it. I was like, I just want to kind of chillax. I just want to kind of chat with my friends, play with a guild. They need healers. Okay, I'll do that, which is actually totally a viable reason to do these things. It's why I tank more often in games than not. Yeah, you know, people need these things. We need tanks, we need healers. That's right. The world needs doctors. Okay. But actually, healing has unique mechanics no other game has, and MMOs are special. And at the same time, there is something that's really cool about the appreciation people have for you. You get invited more. I think it's easier to be more social as a healer. That's a big deal in MMOs, is going into an MMO, finding out what they need, and then deciding between what you want to do, between what the game does well and what the guild needs, and kind of pinpointing with the Venn diagram what class or what role you should actually be playing. And oftentimes I think you're going to find it's actually healer. If you were to remove your biases of what you think, you know, is like, oh man, I'm masculine, so I need to be the Dark Knight with a big ass sword. Or actually, you know, I think it'd be really cool if you were, I don't know, astrologian, you know, I think that'd be really fun. I think you would find the rotation to be quite intense from what I can tell. I don't know, I'm still leveling, but it looks like that's a lot of buttons to press, and it looks like it's a lot of thought. And actually, that's a good point that I would love to end on, is if you do play different roles in games, then they tend to be the style of skill, the skill set is different. So in some games, healing is going to play a little bit different, I'm sure, but in the end, what I've noticed is, especially in World of Warcraft, clearly, this is a great example, or probably Final Fantasy XIV, where you do have sort of a straightforwardness to DPS or damage. It's a complicated rotation, or with tanking, it's more about your positioning. It's about, you know, where you are located on the arena versus more like your complicated rotation or something like that. But healing is kind of, I think, an amalgamation of everything combined, and I think it just more fully, I don't know, enhances the experience, because all the mechanics are driven from the whole experience. And I don't know, it's a little bit different in some games more than others, but in the end, I found that healing is just the truest kind of class and role inside of MMOs, and at the same time, it is the most unique out of all of them. So yeah, go into PlanetSide 2, and even though I love stealthing around, frankly, being a medic is really freaking rewarding, and it's probably the driving force of all Zergs and all gameplay of PlanetSide 2, just about. Unless you're an amazing stealth assassin infiltrator like myself. But in the end, You know, there are certain unique mechanics, there's certain unique classes and roles inside of MMOs that make them special. I do want to know why you play them, but yeah, no, jump into Elder Scrolls and heal up and run dungeons. You'll level up super quick. You know, jump into World of Warcraft, find how fast you actually climb the ranks of a guild being a good healer. And of course, leveling in Final Fantasy XIV was such a friendly community. I am already finding much love here being a healer and leveling up. Even though I can't really show you too much footage, I just captured some of me leveling. In the end though, I'm just noticing that the MMO experience is more true as a healer, and I kind of wish I could go back in time and kind of main healing, actually, at least when it comes to MMOs. Yeah, tanking's pretty cool, and I think some DPS classes are pretty unique, pretty special, but in the end, man, no. If you're gonna play a wealth of games, you know, lots of different games, you have a lot of free time, maybe you're a YouTuber, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, go play your Dark Souls, go play your Monster Hunters, but if you want to play an MMO and you want the truest, best experience, roll a healer and you're gonna have a great time. And yeah, if you want to play a healer, then honestly, what the fuck would you play? You would have to play an MMO. So anyways, yeah, that's why I play healers in MMOs, and also at the same time, that's why I play MMOs, because I love the social interaction, and I think the healers just do the best. So, otherwise, I guess you could probably make the argument of certain games, like if it's sandbox, you could be crafter or anything. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of the video. If you guys want to tell me why you are a dedicated crafter in your game, or why you dedicatedly are a ganking PvPer or whatever in some game, insert Albion Online probably. Yeah, let me know. I would love to talk about those and maybe even do video essays on those experiences as well. And I want to cover those and play them and have fun with them and stream them. So subscribe, keep the hype alive, guys. And I'll see you again next time.